Bryn, where are the kids? We need to get started. Like, this is getting late. Thanks. Okay, maybe I just interview you guys. What did you think of the movie? Somebody has to do the show.
It comes out, and these feet right here.
Guys. We're supposed to be doing a film review, remember? And you two are no better. I just asked you where the kids were. Thank you so much. Let's go. Chop, review the movie, come on. Play with fire, come on.
Welcome to Kidz Review Crew.
Today we'll be watching and reviewing Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire is about a group of firefighters who meet their match while attempting to rescue and house 3 rambunctious children.
This movie stars Keegan-Michael Key and John Cena. Let's get started.
So guys, as you know, we're sitting here at the Oakville Fire Department Station number 3, which we thought was appropriate for reviewing this film, Playing with Fire. And the other thing we want to do today is we want to introduce yet another new Kidz Review Crew member, Reese. Hi Reese, how's it going?
I'm good.
How old are you, Reese?
I am 12.
And what grade are you in?
7.
Grade 7? Okay, well welcome to the team, Reese. You've already met everybody else, so let's get right into this. So we've all just come back from watching Playing with Fire. Did this film make anybody want to consider a career in firefighting at all?
It was cool how the people went in and saved them. I found it like it's a tough job and it's a really important job, but is it something that I would like to do? I don't really think so. But it was definitely inspiring to realize how important these members of our community are.
Yeah. Now, did you learn anything new about firefighting when you were watching this? Let's start with you, Ethan. What did you learn anything new about firefighting?
The only thing I learned that smoke jumpers are a thing, and that looks really cool. I mean, you get a parachute, how the helicopters are relayed down into fires to save other people or put them out.
How about you?
The superintendent says that he has a house, but he lives at the fire station. And like, he doesn't really have a life other than smoke jumping. So I feel like I didn't really know how much pressure was on the job and how much, like, how you have to always be there, always be ready, and always be prepared.
Right. What about you, Reese? Did you learn anything new from today's film?
Kind of, yeah, but like, I don't really like want to be like in that position of like having all those firefighter stuff and like going down into houses and yeah, like not really for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. At the station that we're sitting at right now, here in Station 3, our firefighters in Oakville, they do what are called 24-hour shifts. So they literally live here 24 hours at a time. So they sleep here, they cook here, they work together, and then they go and they do their job fighting fires or helping out in accidents or medical emergencies. So yeah, it's quite a life responsibility. How about you, Journey?
I feel like I learned that there's certain steps that you have to follow. You can't just do like what you want. You have to do a certain step to make it like to survive.
Yeah.
Like you have to make sure that you go down in the right area. You have to make sure you help the people and get back up soon enough to like help them, and that's really what I learned in this movie.
Like every decision is crucial. It's a life or death situation. You can't mess up.
Yeah.
Did you notice some of they use a lot of specialized equipment? Sort of like what we're surrounded by here in the museum portion of the fire station, all the different breathing apparatus and firefighting tools. It's not as easy as simply running in and throwing some water on a fire. It's more complicated than that. We've seen a lot of movies like this, in the sense that, you know, big, strong guys taking care of little kids. Do you feel that that kind of genre of film is getting repetitive, or do you like that kind of film?
It was funny the first few times, but I feel like this is just almost like a remake. It's kind of lost that original aspect of it. Like, a guy with absolutely no experience trying to raise children that just came out of nowhere and you have to take care of them. I feel like that's already happened quite a bit. So I do think it's getting kind of repetitive, and it's like, you know, we could be thinking up something new, a new series, something more interesting, but we're just kind of going back on the same thing.
Yeah, everything old is new again, as they say. How about you, Ethan? What do you think?
I find there's a lot of movies like this, but to me, it doesn't really bother me. Like, most of the time they are funny movies. Some of the times they have like cringy parts in them. I know this one did. But yeah, I haven't really, now that I think about it, I haven't seen one that has a fireman in it yet.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I guess basically they can take almost any kind of job or situation
Yeah.
mixed up with a bunch of kids and come up with another variation of this kind of film. Thinking about the movie that you've watched, let's answer the question: who's this movie for? Like, what's the proper age for it? 'Cause, I mean, obviously it's not your typical little kids movie. There are some scary scenes. I mean, I saw the one scene where kids are being rescued from a burning cottage, it looked like. What do you think the proper age is for this film?
Anyone can watch it. I feel like with older kids, they wouldn't really enjoy it as much. It's just another cringy, corny, cheesy movie. It gave me a very like 90s sitcom kids movie feel. So I feel like any kids that are older than maybe 12 would be bored and
Well, I want to go back to you then for a second, Ethan, because you are officially our oldest member of the panel today. What do you think? Because you're 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so was this too young for you?
For me, I mean, I watch a lot of like cheesy movies.
Okay,
So,
okay.
it didn't really bother me, but I feel like, yeah, if I went to go watch this with some friends,
Yeah.
they might think it's a bit like cheesy.
Okay, I get that point. So let's think about the film itself and the filmmaking. I know we don't have Andrew and James with us today, who are resident film buffs, but what did you see anything interesting in the way that they shot the film? Any interesting cinematography? Anything interesting that you could, I guess, pull out and talk about?
Yeah, like the flying scenes, like they got like a camera and they brought it like to the helicopter and started showing the video of the helicopter. And pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
saw a couple of the flying scenes look pretty impressive.
There was a scene where the baby was shooting a nail gun, and it showed you from her perspective, and it made it funnier because it also showed the guy who was getting shot at like moving around. It was kind of like the Matrix because they also brought like slow-mo angles of the nails going. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I've seen that device of having babies with nail guns has been used a few times in films. It's a little terrifying, actually. Yeah.
It's like the Matrix. It's like Neo.
Now, thinking back to the overall story behind the film, did you think there was a message behind the film at all?
I feel maybe one of the messages is John Cena, or the superintendent, is very formal, work, all business, no play kind of person. And I feel like once the kids come, they try to teach them like, it's okay to have fun sometimes. Like, life is short. You gotta make the most of it. And I feel like that would be a pretty good message, that you can't wrap yourself up in just your work. You need to have time for yourself, because if you don't, then it's unhealthy.
There's this trend in Hollywood where former wrestlers become movie stars.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them. Any other names? Like, obviously John Cena.
The
Johnson.
Rock. The Rock
Yeah,
or
The
Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson.
Same
Dwayne
person.
Johnson.
I know. I said The Rock / Dwayne
Oh, I
Johnson.
think you said Ann.
I remember years and years ago, Hulk Hogan got into the movie business. And in fact, he had one of these kind of, I've all of a sudden discovered I have to take care of kids movies as well. So how do you think John Cena's acting compares to other wrestlers that have become actors?
Honestly, to me, I feel like they're all kind of the same. They all have like this funny vibe to them, and I don't know. They all seem great in movies.
Okay, Journey?
To me, I feel like they're all the same, but like I feel like The Rock is like a little bit better because he's been acting for longer, and also he kind of knows how it all works. Like, you have to add comedy and like, yeah.
I would agree. I mean, not that my opinion matters in this show, but I would agree. Dwayne Johnson tends to be probably the best of the best in my mind. He seems to have adapted to acting quite well. How did John Cena do, though?
John Cena did actually pretty well for this movie.
think so?
Yeah.
I mean, like Dwayne Johnson, he's definitely been in way more films than like John Cena, but yeah, I feel like they both did great.
John Cena, I think, did okay. Some of the parts when he was acting, I didn't really find it believable. I mean, I think it's one of his first films. Dwayne Johnson obviously has done a lot more, but I do feel like Dwayne Johnson is better. Again, some of the parts that John Cena did, either they were supposed to be funny and he didn't get like the timing right or something like that. Yeah.
Okay guys, we're at that part of the show where we have to give our ratings for this film. And this week we're rating our film in sirens. So, sorry Sophia. We're rating this film 1 to 5 sirens. And of course, one siren being it's a bad film, terrible film. 5 being it's a terrific film, fantastic. And then 2, 3, and 4, the variations thereof. So let's think about the film and what your ratings are in sirens. Let's start at the end with Journey.
I would give this movie a 2.5 because I feel like it was a great movie, but it was in the middle. That's why I gave it a 2.5 because there could have been like a lot of things that could have been better, like some of the scenes and controlling the camera, but a lot of them were funny. So like it's kind of in between that mix. So that's why I gave it 2.5.
2.5 what?
Sirens.
Thank you. Sophia.
So this is kind of harder. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.8.
Your kids and your points, okay.
It's like the make or break.
Okay.
3.8 sirens because some parts were funny and some parts were entertaining, but there's some things that the movie did that I didn't like. Like sometimes when they move, they had sound effects. Kind of cartoonish sound effects.
I noticed that, yeah.
She pointed this out.
Yeah.
And it didn't fit.
It seemed unnecessary.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. It seemed like they tried too hard.
Okay.
In some of the scenes they were supposed to be funny, but they missed the punchline or they missed the timing. Again, it just wasn't great.
Okay.
And also, since there's so many other movies like this, I just feel like if it was the only one of its kind, I'd probably give it a much higher rating.
Okay, but 3.8 is still pretty high. Okay, Ethan.
I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
Sirens, thank you. I noticed Sophia refused to say sirens.
Yeah, okay. I didn't really, like she noticed a lot of the sound effects. I didn't actually notice them, to be honest, until she pointed them out. So those didn't really bother me. I'd give it a 3.5 because there's a lot of movies like this already. Just because this was the first one with firemen doesn't mean it should be any higher than other ones.
Okay, Reese, your siren rating.
My siren rating is probably a 3.5 also.
That was the best articulation of my siren rating. Thank you for that.
So
Why did you give it 3.5?
I gave it 3.5 because it's very funny and entertaining, but there's a little side where I don't really understand what's happening, like the camera rotation. Yeah, so that's why I give it a 3.5.
Okay, guys, that was a great review. Thank you so much. It sounds like everybody's sort of like in the middle. This is a film that is worth watching, but maybe not worth going out of your way to watch. Would that be a good assessment?
Yeah.
I think
okay.
so.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for another great review, and we'll see you next time on Kidz Review Crew.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Follow us on social media.
Catch us when we watch Frozen 2.
Because, there's so much work and they work really hard. Oh my God! Jeff!
Who's right sitting in my chair?